Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world one book at a time. So, let's get right into it. When the philosopher Hannah Arendt talks about dark times, she doesn't just mean big, obvious tragedies like wars or disasters. The darkness she's talking about is actually a lot more insidious. It's a time when the public sphere, the very place that's supposed to shine a light on things, just stops working. It's when the language we use in public fails to tell us the truth and instead starts to hide. And where does this darkness come from? Well, Arendt says it's caused by a kind of official camouflage. It's that highly efficient talk and double talk that just explains away anything inconvenient. You know the sound of it. And when our speech is used to obscure things instead of clarifying them, the public realm just loses all its power. Trust completely erodes, and it becomes almost impossible for anyone to see what's really going on. And this leads to a really chilling paradox, doesn't it? The one space that is supposed to provide light, our public square, our shared conversation, actually starts to obscure everything. It becomes a source of confusion, making it harder, not easier, to see the world for what it is. So, if the public realm itself is a source of darkness, what are we supposed to do? Where can we possibly turn for some illumination? This is the huge question that Arendt really tries to answer. She moves from just diagnosing the problem to actually searching for a source of hope, no matter how small it might be. She explores this very question in her 1968 book, Men in Dark Times. And what's so fascinating is where she finds the answer. It's not in some grand political theory or a mass movement. Instead, she looks to the lives and the work of specific, individual people who lived through their own dark times. And this quote, it just beautifully sums up the book's central metaphor. For Arendt, hope isn't some giant, blazing sun that banishes all the shadows at once. No, it comes from these small, fragile, flickering lights that individual people are able to kindle, even when things are at their absolute worst. These are personal acts of courage, of integrity. All right, so how do you actually do it? How does a person go about kindling this light? Arendt lays out a few really important ways that we can resist the darkness and, in the process, hold on to our own humanity. First off, and this is a big one, she warns us against retreating from the world. When public life gets toxic and exhausting, the temptation is just to withdraw, right? To focus on our own private lives. But Arendt says every time we do that, it's a loss for the world. Staying engaged, continuing to act in the world, that, in itself, is a form of resistance. Second, she says that genuine speech is a form of action. Now, we're not talking about that official double talk from before. We're talking about the simple act of talking about the world with other people. That kind of conversation creates a shared reality, a common world that can push back against all the noise and really humanize our experience. And this leads directly to her third and maybe most intimate point. For Arendt, the number one space where this kind of resistant speech and action can actually happen is in friendship. Friendship becomes this small, protected space where humanity can be practiced and preserved. Now, this distinction Arendt makes is absolutely crucial. She draws a line between what she calls brotherhood and friendship. Brotherhood, for her, is this kind of inward-looking warmth you get from shared suffering. It's like huddling together against the cold. It's a retreat from the world. But friendship is totally different. It's outward-looking. It's all about creating a space to talk about the world. It's a way of being in the world, not hiding from it. Arendt uses this incredibly powerful example to make her point crystal clear. She says that during the Third Reich, a true friendship wouldn't pretend that political reality didn't exist. It wouldn't say, oh, we are all just human beings. No. It would have confronted that brutal reality head-on by saying, a German and a Jew and friends. In that simple, honest acknowledgement, a small pocket of true humanity is created right in the middle of an inhuman world. So, and this is really important to understand, Arendt isn't offering some grand solution here. The lives she profiles in the book are not a blueprint for how to fix the world. This is a much more reflective idea. The little lights that people kindle aren't necessarily meant to overpower the darkness completely. And that leaves us with this final, profound question. For Arendt, the act of kindling that light, creating those spaces for real conversation, maintaining friendships that face reality, speaking the truth, that act is an end in itself. It is the very act of preserving what it means to be human. And that matters, even if, and maybe especially when, the darkness remains. For the full long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description.
If you enjoy these explainers, please subscribe and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.